Each team a drive. Minnesota didn't score in its opening drive. That's something new. They've scored in their opening drive all 6 games this year. The Patriots went 86 yards. Now Brady starts again. 5 receivers, no backs out of the gun. First down throw. Hit Gabriel by the face, but he caught it. Gain of 5.5. Here's Susie.
And how's this for work ethic? Tom Brady's been working with the same quarterback coach every offseason since he was 13. Tom Martinez runs quarterback camps in San Mateo, stresses being fundamentally sound. And this offseason, Brady told him he wanted to work on accuracy. But as Martinez told me, accuracy doesn't just mean completion percentage. It means you put the ball in exactly the right place so the receiver never has to break stride. It's as if Brady needs a tune-up. Martinez is his mechanic. Brady's running smoothly tonight.
And the beneficiary, Susie, has been a quicker learning curve for all these new receivers he's inherited this year. That pass is incomplete for his tight end, Benjamin Watson. You know, it was amazing when we sat with Bill Belichick last night. As he said, this is the hardest working player I've ever had. And that says a lot about star players. We all know they work hard, but here's a guy who Belichick considers his hardest worker ever.
He is a star player, and yet we don't know him in the way we know Peyton Manning or Michael Vick or Brett Favre or Donovan McNabb. There's a variety of reasons for that, not just not having commercial endorsements the way they do.
Third and 4. Pressure picked up for the moment. Now Brady has to use that pocket presence to find Watson, and it is apparently intercepted. Yes, it is. Picked off. Darren Sharper back there in coverage. And the Vikings turn Brady over.
What a play by Darren Sharper. Tom Brady again had so much time. Darren Sharper one-handed swings back with his left hand to make the play.
Whoa.
Just snatched it out of the air. That's phenomenal. That's something that Darren Sharper hasn't been able to do much this year because of the style of defense. They have him playing back further, sort of as a protector. Here he stayed with Watson and made the play.
That was nice. Lester Hayes used to do that, but he had glue on his hands.
I know, because Lester Hayes got some of mine.
Yeah, but Darren Sharper, I don't think glue's still legal. Unless it's a Kenny Rogers situation and he's going to have to wash those gloves, I don't think it's legal.
You want to check and see if there's a spot on that glove? Is that what you're talking about?
Brady intercepted for the 4th time. You saw Sharper, 42 picks since 2000. His 2nd of the year after a 9-interception season last year. A great field position for Brad Johnson's crew. And his first down toss to Bethel Johnson. Gains only 3 yards.
You talk about a guy getting himself into the system right away. Bethel Johnson just got here about a week or 2 ago and is now a part of that starting lineup. They want the speed on the field. I also think it's smart by Brad Childress, the head coach of the Vikings. Take a guy who comes from a team. You have to feel like if there's any kind of pride to show somebody that they made a mistake to let you go, you put him out there and let him go play right away.
It's the Patriots' 2nd-round pick in 2003, traded by New England to New Orleans before the season start. Let go because of injury by the Saints. Picked up here in Minnesota. Taylor runs it to the 39-yard line. That'll be a 3-yard pickup. We'll have 3rd and 4 coming up.
It's a different sort of feel with the offenses in this regard. With New England, you sort of wait, and you wonder if Brady, like he did in the first series, could hit something for 35 or 40 yards. With Brad Johnson, you don't think he's going to do that. You think it's going to be 6 yards and 8 yards, and 6 yards and 8 yards again, and maybe 4 yards, and be more methodical.
He will be, but there is a spot built in where he'll go up top.
It's just deep.
Right, it just doesn't look the same way because they don't spread him out like New England has.
Travis Taylor in motion, 3rd and 4. We'll come back to the near side for Troy Williamson, who caught it right at the first down line at the 35. Asante Samuel there on the coverage.
Early in Brad Childress' career, like within the first month, he made the decision to let go of Dante Culpepper, who had been a Pro Bowl player here and the biggest star remaining on the team. And he did so. He'd had an experience with corrosive players in Philadelphia with Terrell Owens. And when he wanted to talk to Culpepper, Culpepper only wanted to talk about a contract. And Childress said, we're going to get rid of him. We're going to stay with Brad Johnson, oldest quarterback in the league. That could have been second guessed all year long. Brad Johnson, by winning, has eliminated the second guess.
Continuing to do what he did in Tampa Bay for a time in Washington. Now he loads for the deep ball. It's Johnson running deep into triple coverage. And it's incomplete. The Patriots were ready for it as Harrison and Samuel all there as the pressure came from Ty Warren.
That is not something that Brad Johnson is going to be able to do. He has to get the ball out of his hand when his foot is planted. He can't just wait for a receiver to get downfield and then try and out-throw the defense. It's not going to work. I mean, Bethel Johnson, there were 3 Patriots that had a shot at that before it ever would have got to Bethel Johnson.
They were all thinking what you were thinking, that he'll go to Bethel Johnson so that he could prove that the Patriots made a mistake and let him go.
Keep on doing it.
They're smart people, too.
Artrell Hawkins also there, chiefly in coverage. Who's 2nd and 10. And Taylor checks out the right side. Rodney Harrison comes flying, flying in to close off that hit, a gain of 3. And there's a nice brief word from Larry Nemmer saying, watch it. The man who's earned the tag is voted by the players in a Sports Illustrated poll as the dirtiest player in the NFL.
I love talking to him last night. He says, look, I hardly played last year.
Right.
How do I get the label? I hardly played. But what was more fun is Tom Brady got 1 vote in the 361 guys they polled. I think Rodney voted for Tom, just so it wouldn't be unanimously him.
Harrison, who injured his left knee, tore ligaments in the game against Pittsburgh week 3 last year, feels he's 90% now. Johnson tried to pump and throw. He got hit, but still got it to Tony Richardson, and the veteran fullback does a great job of keeping the play alive. First down. How did Colvin not knock down Johnson?
Oh, my. You talk about a tough guy. Brad Johnson moving his neck around a little bit. Tony Richardson says, all I want to do is blow up linebackers. This is what I love to do, but it's sure nice to have an outlet. Johnson steps up in. Colvin hits him square. Look at how strong he is, and then watch the run that Richardson makes. Makes one guy miss, then slides around outside, runs over somebody else, Chad Scott, winds up with the first down. Big individual effort.
Roosevelt Colvin was 41 and a half sacks in his life. Has to be wondering, how did I not get that one? That was a sitting duck for me. Johnson, chased by Vince Wilfork, gets that one out to Chester Taylor, and he gains 5 yards. And that speaks a little bit to the 38-year-old Johnson. Yeah, when you're 38 and you've started 115 games in the league, the officials will help you put that shoulder pad back into the jersey. Here's a guy who is, there's always been a better car come into the parking lot and say, well, you know what, we'll move forward. We'll go in a different direction, yet he continues to produce.
There's always been a car that looked better. That's right. I think, Mike, you're right. There's been a car that's looked better, but none has performed like this. And really, the Vikings ought to think about seriously giving Brad Johnson an extension on his contract, because he certainly deserves the money.
Only Charlie Fry, starter, making less money in the NFL right now as Taylor takes it within a yard of the first down. Artrell Hawkins and Chad Scott bring Chester down.
When you talk about giving him an extension on his contract, for how long? He's going to play till he's 100 years old. He tells people, I can play 4 or 5 more years. He's George Blanda without kicking.
He can't.
He's going to keep playing.
The quarterback position today in football is managing games and not committing the ones that kill you. Don't commit the disastrous plays, and he doesn't do that.
Most guys his age are getting AARP benefits.
3rd and 1 in the red zone, where the Vikings have had many penalties this year. Chester Taylor, first down to the 10-yard line.
If you need a first down, you may as well go behind the money man. As Brian McKinney said, Steve Hutchinson at the left guard position, 6'5", 313, number 76. They just take Richard Seymour and just guide him out of the way.
Little help from the Harvard alum, the center Matt Burke, who a 4-time Pro Bowler who injured his hip and did not play in 2005. So you have Burke at center and Hutchinson at left guard and Brian McKinney at left tackle. About as good a left side as you're going to find in the league. Archie Pinner comes in and runs it to the 6 before second down. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Mike, if you don't include kneel downs, over half of the Vikings rushing attempts have been up the middle. About a third have gone to the left with a lot of success, 5.9 yards per carry, and about 17% have gone to the right side. Chester Taylor told me we can't just run to one side. The right side has helped a lot. It seems even to me. Both sides are good. One side just gets paid more, but clearly, Mike, the left side of the line has produced a lot of Taylor's success.
Yeah, that's like Joe said. When you need it, you better go to the guy making millions. Another run with Pinners. They try him here in the red zone. And Artus, who was with the Detroit Lions for the last 3 years, a fourth-round pick in 2003, gets to the 5. Well, 3rd and goal. That's the reason Taylor's not in, is he tries to get his eyes all straightened out.
It's down in this situation where the New England Patriots have the versatility to drop defensive linemen in places, linebackers, and move them around. Brad Johnson told us yesterday, I have to see my throws, and that means that he has to identify the holes that he's throwing into. He can't just anticipate where the receiver's going to be.
So you think he's throwing here?
Yeah, I do.
Jarvis Green out. Richard Seymour, who did not start because of the elbow injury in the lineup. Odd formation here is Johnson with time. Lofts it right into the arms of Rodney Harrison, who intercepts it and is taken down at the 2-yard line. Well, Brad Johnson, who has a very good interception percentage, rarely makes mistakes. That one was an easy one for Harrison.
It's the easiest one Harrison will ever get. He's the only one there. He's free as a receiver.
Pitch us your idea for the best NFL Super Bowl commercial ever. Seriously. Register now at NFL.com/superad.
The Ford F-150 Super Crew or the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. With a standard payload over 200 pounds more than an F-150 Super Crew, in a Tundra Double Cab, you're not leaving anything behind. You're loading up the first time. Full-size Toyota Tundra, a truck that finishes when it starts.
Now get $4,000 cash back plus the Sport Package discount for a total savings of $6,000 on the Tundra Double Cab. Toyota, moving forward.
Shift your appetite in gear. Get to Quaker Steak and Lube. Food you want is here at the Lube. Open every day of the year. Quaker Steak and Lube. Get in gear. Quaker Steak and Lube. Hot wings and cold beer. Quaker Steak and Lube. Shift your appetite into gear.
Visit Quaker Steak and Lube in Pinellas Park.
Are you ready for some savings? It's Suncoast Chrysler Jeep's all-out price blitz. Save thousands on Pinellas County's best selection of Chryslers and Jeeps. 06 Chrysler Sebring convertibles with automatic, power windows and locks, and more from just $14,888. Sebring convertibles for just $14,888.
I'm Phil. I'm Wayne Jr. I'm Wayne Sr. How can we help you?
Only at Suncoast Chrysler Jeep at the corner of Park Boulevard and Starkey Road in Seminole.
Live look at the downtown area. There you see the Metrodome and downtown to the north in the distance in this city of 380,000. Boy, the Vikings can't get out of their own way in the red zone. It has often been penalties, but only the Raiders have struggled more inside the 20, and now the Vikings add to that with a turnover. From the 2, Brady to the air. Gabriel hangs on to the 11, gain of 9, tackled by Antoine Winfield.
What happens on this when Rodney Harrison is circled, what he's doing is he's looking back at Brad Johnson all the way. They want to run Mweldy Moore out underneath. Teddy Bruschi basically tackles him. He just doesn't give him any place to go. Brad Johnson just hangs the ball up in the air. You can't hang anything up down around the goal line. There's too many people too close. Rodney Harrison just showed you what experience and intelligence does.
And the first quarter will come to an end.
In this particular part, Brad Childress said you talk about sixes in the red zone. How much more important sixes are than threes? How about zeros? They got 0 in the red zone.
If technology exists that can make our SUVs nearly effortless to use, a GMC engineer will find it and apply it. Introducing the all-new 2007 GMC Yukon with available power liftgate and one-touch third-row access. Looking beyond the drawing board is just one more way we engineer to the highest standard, professional grade.
Fred, I want upgrades. More speed, better security, and I want options by Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ah, Rudy, why me?
Look, maybe I can get you some more time.
No, Tuesday's fine. I'll call CDW. We'll work out some options. Rudy.
Nobody responds like CDW. With fast answers to your technology questions, you get what you need when you need it. CDW, the right technology right away.
Thanks for caring, man.
Shall we raise our shields, Captain?
At ease, Mr. Chekhov. Again with the shields. I wish he'd just relax and enjoy the amazing picture clarity of the DirecTV HD we just hooked up. With what Starfleet just ponied up for this big screen TV, settling for cable would be illogical. What? I can't use that line?
For picture quality that beats cable, you've got to get DirecTV.
The one day everything went wrong is the one day Detective Brett Hopper can't escape.
No! Tell me why this is happening!
Taye Diggs. Daybreak, 2-hour series premiere, Wednesday, November 15th. Only on ABC.
Tom Brady made his first NFL start 61 months ago tonight, September 30, 2001. 5 years and a month. That was right after the Drew Bledsoe injury. Mo Lewis of the Jets hitting Bledsoe. A very serious injury, and Brady has stepped in and put up remarkable numbers since. Second quarter begins with a penalty flag.
Defense, encroachment, number 93. The 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
That's Kevin Williams. It's the first flag on the Vikings tonight. Well, since that debut by Brady on September 30, 01 as a starter, he has more wins than any other quarterback, and obviously the 3 Super Bowl titles in addition to the 63 wins. More wins than Manning, more than McNabb, and it speaks to productivity and being on the field for every one of the starts between then and tonight. Brady with a flag down the seam is Watson, the big tight end, across midfield. His balance lost at the 44-yard line. We'll check the flag, but it's a pickup of 40 if it stands. I think this one's on the Vikings secondary.
Talked earlier about what is it about Brady that people don't know. Obviously, he's known in
Illegal
New England.
hands to the face, defense number 21. Penalty is declined. First down.
Fred Smoot.
Why isn't he more known around the country? Well, he doesn't have the commercials as omnipresent as Peyton Manning or McNabb or Michael Vick. He was a lower draft choice, 6th-round draft choice, unpublicized, like Manning, like Vick, like McNabb. Product, I think, of a player-unfriendly organization in the sense that they don't make stars. They don't try to use the hype machine, and he's a product of Belichick who values privacy, and that extends to the team as well.
But with great numbers here tonight, all in the air except for one play. Maroney, the former Minnesota Golden Gopher, looking right at home to the 24-yard line. First down, gain of 20.
Well, it's interesting when you say they only ran the ball once. They lost a bunch of yards, and they learned. And they said, we've got Brady. We got all these receivers. They can't cover them all. Why kill ourselves by running the ball?
Yep, and using a guy in Lawrence Maroney, who's been one of the top runners in the NFL among rookies to start the season. However, he has come into the NFL and learned the passing game as well. And Bill Belichick telling us last night he has trusted him not just as a protector, but getting him the ball in space there. Huge gain of 20. And now Corey Dillon, the 10-year veteran, comes back in. 13 plays, just one run. Here's the second. Here's Dillon to the 10-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Patriots.
Patriots are doing such a masterful job with their formations of spreading the Minnesota defense from sideline to sideline. If you want to play with your corners up and your safeties back, we're just going to spread you out as far as we can, take the support of the secondary out of it completely. Look at the left side. Everybody blocks somebody, and the safety is so far back.
They hadn't run in a whole quarter, and Minnesota forgot that they knew how to do it, obviously. Surprised them.
First and goal, Brady's pass. Intended for Troy Brown, flag down. Roniel Whitaker, who was part of the reason that the Vikings gave up a big touchdown to Seattle last week, was holding there.
Holding, defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Brad Childress says he pushed it. Brown should have been called first.
Very seldom do they call pass interference, but he's got to let him go within 5 yards. I don't know. I mean, what can Whitaker complain about? You have to eventually let somebody go, unless you're tackling them
or dancing with them
with the stars.
That was last week.
Oh. So I give Emmett a week later. I'm still pulling for him.
David Thomas, the second tight end, is lined up in the wing on the right. First and goal, Pats. Maroney stopped at the line, and there's that Minnesota run-stopping defense. So we showed you the frustrations of the Vikings in the red zone on offense. What about New England in the red zone this year? Thus far, pretty darn productive. You see their touchdown percentage at 65%. Right there is the tops in the NFL. Dallas and Kansas City right up there with them near the top. But New England, very, very efficient because they've run the ball so well. So often good running teams have good red zone numbers. They do. Play pass Maroney, who made a nice block, and Brady throws it incomplete. We'll have third down. E.J. Henderson was the one picked up by Maroney, the rookie.
It looks like Maroney actually, I mean, as far as the block goes, he just goes down low perfectly. Get down low, make the guy get his hands down, does a terrific job on E.J. Henderson. Just get your hands down.
And Henderson made a heck of a play to keep his balance and still force Brady to get rid of it.
Big third down here for Minnesota. This is what you're worried about. Tom Brady has space to work with by spreading him from sideline to sideline. Ben Watson, number 84, is what you got to be careful of.
Brady, look at him, finds spaces in the pocket to throw, and then throws it away with Watson back there in the back. We'll have a field goal attempt coming up.
That's a good job by Minnesota's defense. Terrific job in coverage. Brady has a lot of time. Watson trying to work in the middle, slide on back to the pivot. Tom has to throw it away.
Brady slid from side to side like he was playing on clay in the French Open.
Rashae Caldwell was saying, I am open.
Stephen Gostkowski, the rookie out of Memphis. Of course, replacing Adam Vinatieri. So much attention on Gostkowski. He knocks that one through. Now 6 of 9 on the season. And the Patriots take advantage of the turnover with a 93-yard drive.
Disciplined investing. It's not about following the crowd. At T. Rowe Price, our independent research means we're not deceived by every market ripple, and we don't chase every fad. For each 1, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Football fans have become too reliant on one sign. So what'd we come up with?
Lock.
Sure, laugh. I propose you use nickel when you need 5 defensive backs, or dime when you need 6.
But I think it's about time we show a little love to offense. Offense!
Let's issue a continuance on the defense to give the offense a tryout this season.
For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite.
It supports full 1080i resolution.
I'm confused.
1080i.
No, I'm confused why it costs so much more here than at Walmart.
Oh, we do offer a rebate. You cut out the UPC code, fill out this form. Do you know origami? You have to fold it, do a badger, an armadillo, mail it, and then 3 to 12 months later, ma'am, you can do a fruit bat, that's easy.
The same brand name HD TVs, except ours have the discounts already built in. Get smart before you buy at walmart.com/HDTV.
Well, Bill Belichick has seen a lot of guys go. Offensive minds, defensive minds, veteran quarterbacks, linemen, kickers, star wide receivers, safeties, nose guards, DBs, franchise players. Yet the bling is still the thing. They keep winning championships, even with a great list of departures. Guys who, when they come to your team, you say, wow, we got him? That's really good. Yet the constant is Belichick and Brady, and the success is right there on his
Music provided by Robert Zimmerman of Hibbing, Minnesota. Now Bob Dylan, by the way. times they are changing.
Now Bob Dylan.
Local flavor. Now Bob Dylan.
He's been for
50 years.
A couple of weeks, right? Kostowski kicks. Bethel Johnson likes to catch it up high above his head. Is brought down to his rear just over the 20-yard line and given a 10-0 lead. All those veterans from the New England Patriots defense like Harrison and Seau and Vrabel try to back up Brady's work when you come back.
The NBA on ESPN returns Wednesday with a doubleheader. Coverage begins at 7.
Once upon a time, there was this idea. One of those proverbial big ideas. An idea so big that it needed help making the leap between possibility and reality. This big idea, it's your idea. Now who's going to help you make it real?
I'm Ed Rontaler. I'm 101 years old. This house was built in 1930. We've had a lot of trick-or-treaters, many happy Thanksgivings, many happy memories in this house. I wouldn't trade a single day here for anything.
Each year, mortgage insurance from Genworth Financial helps thousands of people start building their own futures today by getting into their own homes faster. Genworth Financial. Insurance for living. Solutions for life.
Too intelligent to be categorized. The RAV4 from Toyota.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Olive Garden. When you're here, your family. Genworth Financial. Insurance for living. Solutions for life. And Toyota. Moving forward.
They believe the sport of curling started in Scotland 465 years ago. We're on a hotbed in the U.S. right here in Minnesota. Half of our United States Olympic team, men's and women's, from this great state.
I use a broom at home.
From the 21 years, Brad Johnson. Vrabel pressures. Just a hair behind, but brought in by Williamson. And the second-year wide receiver out of South Carolina with a first down gain of 11 yards.
We showed that graphic before of all the people who have left the Patriots over the years. Here's their organizational model. They don't pay a lot of money, and they are not sentimental. When you can't play anymore, they get rid of you. Okay? That's just the way it works. They use you up. But if you're one of those guys who truly believes that you want to win, and money isn't the paramount thing, you want to play for New England because every game they've got a chance to win, and every year they've got a chance to win.
And that's one of the big reasons. Robert Kraft, the owner, his son Jonathan sitting next to him. Johnson's pass on first down to Chester Taylor. Vrabel tackle, gain of a couple of yards.
Along that lines, there are people who win and then leave. They opt to get more money.
See,
right?
I don't agree with you on that. I don't think that, they just decide they want to discard people. You look at that list of people. Ty Law still playing. Ted Washington still playing. They use them for a specific period of time, and then they bring them in before they're at the end of it. But that's why this organization can continue to win.
My point is you don't get credit for being one of them when they decide it's time for you to not be one of us anymore.
Not too many organizations do.
2nd and 8. Richardson gets just eaten alive by Roosevelt Colvin. The veteran hangs on for a gain of a half-yard. 3rd and long coming up.
The difference in what you see Minnesota offensively do and New England do, Minnesota has not tried to go down the field. They haven't thrown a ball over 15 yards. Brad Johnson's getting it out of his hands very quickly, and the linebackers are in position to make plays. This is somewhat of a quote-unquote West Coast style of offense. That's an offense that gets the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. It doesn't vertically attack defenses. It just moves the ball in short increments like runs, except they throw it.
This play came in late. The veteran Johnson gets it off. It's 3rd and 7. Running out of time. Launching deep into coverage. It's intercepted by Chad Scott. The veteran goes down and gets to the 30-yard line. His 20th career interception, first as a Patriot.
Those are two of the worst decisions I have seen Brad Johnson make, and I can't tell you how long. What he's got to do is, if nothing's there, you've made your wins with your defense. Let him go play for you.
It's the most prestigious day in racing. The best jockeys, trainers, and horses. Here comes a thrilling finish. Like Bernardini and Lava Man going head-to-head. The Breeders' Cup World Championships, Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN.
Buckle in, things might get bumpy. Thankfully, the GL450 is the only full-size luxury SUV with a unit body platform to provide maximum comfort and stability, so it rides less like a truck and more like a car. Better yet, more like a Mercedes.
The 7-passenger GL, just one of the Mercedes-Benz SUVs with standard 4MATIC 4-wheel drive. The GL starts at $55,675.
It's historic. It's unprecedented. 23 city mayors agree. Pinellas County is wrong to try to strip power away from city voters. The county thinks they know best how to run your city. They think voters county-wide should dictate your city standards. And worse, they don't mind deceiving you, saying it's for environmental protection. It's not. It's a power grab. Don't give away the rights you already have. Vote no on the county charter amendments.
Being the #1 Ford dealer in Pinellas and Pasco counties means we have the largest and cleanest selections of pre-owned vehicles to offer you. Our courteous and professional staff have over 100 years of experience.
Take a look at these specials. You choose 2006 Focus or 2006 Taurus, just $11,999. 2003 Escape or a 2004 Explorer, just $13,999.
We're family owned and operated since 1957. I'm Frank Walker, and Walker is pre-owned.
It was loud when the game kicked off about an hour ago. Very quiet right now as Brad Johnson has thrown an interception on the second consecutive drive. He had only thrown 4 in the first 5 games, and there you see it, 6 games, I should say. There you see his numbers last year compared to this. Tops in the NFL in interceptions per pass attempt. It's changed this year. Brady back to the air to David Thomas. First down across the 40. We have a SportsCenter 30-30 update with Bill Pito.
All right, Mike. Seattle coach Mike Holmgren says running back Sean Alexander's bad foot will keep him out of next Monday night's game against Oakland. Alexander has missed the last 4 games, and Seattle has gone 1-3. The Saints' Reggie Bush says his ankle injury is not serious and says he will play next Sunday against Tampa Bay. Bush says he first hurt the ankle in Week 1. Next SportsCenter after Monday Night Football. Constant updates on ESPN News.
Thank you, Billy. Patriots leading 10-0 here. Brady has been sharp, doing it mostly in the air here tonight. One more completion. Riche Caldwell. Tom Brady is just on target all night here. 11 of 15 throwing the ball. If you just hop it on board, I'll show you how we've gotten to 10-0 and driving for the Patriots. Opening drive, Brady was 6 of 6, 94 yards, including the touchdown to Riche Caldwell. He's continued that, now 12 of 16 on the night. Darren Sharper had a big interception. Vikings were in the red zone, but Brad Johnson's first of 2 interceptions to Rodney Harrison kept the points off the board there. And then just a second ago, the interception pulled in by veteran Chad Scott. That's how we are at 10-0 Patriots ball in Viking territory. And Maroney runs and into the waiting arms of Pat Williams, late of the Buffalo Bills, playing some terrific ball on the defensive tackle spot.
Josh McDaniel, who's the title of the offensive coordinator, and Bill Belichick will not try and bang their head against the wall. They have gotten absolutely nothing out of those running plays. You can see 7 yards. Bill doesn't care. He's not interested in balance in an offense. He's interested in points and production, and that's coming out of throwing the football.
As you said, go back to that Pittsburgh game a few years ago. Very comfortable with, especially Brady, and a receiving corps that now understands this offense, throwing it all these times. Complete to the 46-yard line, Jabbar Gaffney, who brings one in for the first time this year, is Gaffney, the veteran out of Florida who played 4 years with the Houston Texans.
You can talk about how the receiving corps improves every week, and that's what Brady said, and that's what Belichick said. But when you look at them, they're a group of ragtag guys. They lost Deion Branch, they lost David Gibbons, and the big question was, who would Brady throw to? Now Brady makes these guys look like Pro Bowl players because he's that good.
He is that
7 different receivers have caught a pass in the first quarter and a half tonight. Vikings show pressure. They back out and cover with 7. They're giving Brady time, and that one off the hands of Kevin Falk, the third down back. And New England will be forced to punt it away.
But it does beg this question, Joe. With all the big names that leave either because they're cut or because they want to go somewhere else and make money, at what point do you lose too many players? At what point do you put so much pressure on your stars like Brady that they're not up to it because they don't have the talent around them because you let them go?
You don't put too much pressure on Tom Brady. As long as you have Tom Brady, you can do it. As long as you have a Peyton Manning, you can do it.
Josh Miller kicks from the Weldy Moore back deep to receive. Good situational kicker, this left footer. Could not get it to stop in time for Antoine Spann to stop it. Touchback, Vikings take over at the 20. The interception does no harm.
Who will believe millions of tiny mirrors can put you in a gigantic stadium or on a far-off planet? Or here, or that so much color will make you think that you are actually there. Who will believe this thing inside? Soon, everyone. It's amazing. It's the mirrors.
HDTV powered by DLP. See how millions of tiny mirrors make the picture amazing.
Save on Samsung HD TVs powered by DLP at Circuit City and CircuitCity.com.
We're not even in the right seats. Oh, eat it up, buddy. Adios. Is that part of the show?
I'll vote for you if you vote for me. Done.
Get ready for Pro Bowl balloting with NFL Mobile. Available exclusively from Sprint. You can make your Pro Bowl picks from just about anywhere. Text PRO to 7777 with your Sprint or Nextel service, or go to NFL.com to vote.
Is voting 692 times too much? No.
Did you vote yet?
Chosen one, huh?
Well, coming up at halftime, in honor of Halloween, lucky people have been pulled from the stands. They will be in the ESPN Halloween Derby. That's Kornheiser, me, Theismann, Berman, Steve Young, Michael Irvin, Tom Jack. They did the best job on top.
Great smile on Tommy.
Yes.
That's sweet. They gave me more hair than I have.
Why can't I show
like
my
that.
hair?
So it'll be a whole costume race, kind of like the sausage race in Milwaukee. It'll be the Brewers baseball games. That'll be coming up at halftime. Chester Taylor with the run for a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Nobody's going to hit him with a bat, are they?
Randall Simon not allowed in the building, but I think it's pretty sweet that we're going to be in sausage races and that they put our heads that big. Your head is normally that big, Joe, but I think that's pretty good.
You have every right to hit him at any point, and I won't be a witness.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. There he is. Yeah, sure. See? My head's big. Look at Tommy. Tommy's out practicing.
That's coming up at halftime. Taylor gained 1 yard at 2nd and 9. Play action with Chester, and the pass is complete. Williamson did a nice job of hanging on. We'll have 3rd and 3 coming up. Tackled by Asante Samuel.
The last interception that Brad Johnson threw was really the result of Richard Seymour coming around on the outside. Watch the pressure he puts on him. He doesn't allow him to load his arm. And consequently, Chad Scott is just going to come up and pick the ball out of the air. He tried to throw it deep, and he can't get it deep enough to get the ball to the receiver.
That's too bad. All interceptions are bad. They're two particularly bad interceptions, and we give Brad Johnson credit for being smart and not working his weaknesses but working his strengths. Bad interception.
Out of character throws for him.
Wildy Moore in motion. This is 3rd down. And Johnson's throw is complete to Travis Taylor, who has the first down. A flag is down as Taylor gets to the 35-yard line.
It's going to be offensive pass interference.
Offensive pass interference, number 89. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
see what the 7th-year man out of Florida did.
You get your hands away from your body. If you make contact with the defender and you extend your arms, that's all the officials need to see. Boy, that's...
Huh?
Wow.
Huh?
Hey, you know, what can I tell you? Sometimes you call it closer than others.
In other words, he should not have called that.
Yeah, well, obviously he saw something. I mean, we've seen a lot of people pick up flags. That wasn't one that got picked up, obviously.
So instead of 3rd and 3 and a first down pickup, it's 3rd and 13. Melody Moore tries to make it on his own, and Mike Vrabel is waiting to catch him, and the Vikings will go 3 and out. And the Patriots defense has done its job here tonight. 25 plays, only 95 yards for the Vikings.
And critical penalty again, and the Minnesota Vikings have an offense that doesn't have big plays built into it. If you have that kind of an offense, you need to put together 10, 11, 12 play drives. You can't be going backwards a couple of times.
On the other hand, only 4:32 to the sausage race.
Good kick by Kluwe, who needed one. That's a 51-yard punt fielded by Falk at the 22. Goes down at the 26. Special teams tackle from the starting linebacker, Ben Lever. Brady's bunch up 10.
Football on ABC. Oklahoma, Texas A&M, UCLA, Cal, or Virginia Tech, Miami. Saturday at 8.
America runs on Dunkin's coffee. Always smooth, always delicious, and always freshly brewed. The way it has been since 1950. America runs on Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin's new warm French toast twist. It's a delicious new twist on an old breakfast favorite. America runs on Dunkin'.
100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Chevrolet has raised its quality and your confidence to a whole new level.
At Dimmitt Chevrolet, you can buy or lease with peace of mind.
A 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty on every 07 Chevrolet is just the beginning. Dimmitt gives you the lowest prices, guaranteed.
And the best financing in town, regardless of your credit.
Not to mention the friendliest staff. And remember,
a minute at Dimmitt can save you thousands.
I'm Larry Belts. You know, advertising, it's all around us, and it can be very confusing when you're in an accident. But the point is, there is a difference. People have been calling us for over 30 years to get answers to all the same questions you have when you're injured. We're a law firm, not a non-lawyer 800 Ask Tom, Dick, or Harry, but a real honest-to-goodness law firm. When you call, you will speak with a lawyer who will answer your legal questions for free. This isn't something new, it's what we do. Representing victims since 1975, we are Belts and Ruth.
The city the Timberwolves call home. We remind you the NBA on ESPN starts this week. LeBron and the Cavs open the season against Washington, and then the LA Clippers take on Phoenix. 2 great playoff series last year. Get our season started. It's game time, opening week of the NBA. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with the pregame as we look forward to our NBA coverage for the 5th year here on ESPN. After the punt, Patriots taking over just across their own 25. Brady pressured and brought down by Jamie Mitchell, the rookie out of Ole Miss.
Jamie Mitchell, Ray Edwards, a couple of rookies, good ends on the right side. Comes right around, just absolutely throws the rookie Ryan O'Callahan out of his way, and then closes in on Tom. Minnesota being led by their defense again.
That is the first sack of the National Football League career of Mitchell. Only his second active game. And before 2nd and 12, New England will stop it here with a timeout. And while we have a second, here's Michelle Tafoya.
I talked to Kevin Williams this week, the defensive tackle, and he said when he watched the Patriots offense on tape this week, he noticed how composed New England's offense is. He said they want you to beat yourselves. And this is the first time Williams is facing Tom Brady. He said he was excited about it. He said, we've got to wear him down. We can't get frustrated as a front because they don't allow many sacks. We just got to keep going and hopefully get the results. And you saw that there, Mike.
Well, Michelle, it speaks to the intelligence of Tom Brady, how difficult he is to bring down, and that pocket presence. And, Joe, when we talk about pocket presence, we usually think of a guy's ability to get out of the pocket and scramble. That's why he avoids sacks. But this guy keeps so many plays alive with his knowledge.
I felt like Dan Marino was a master at moving around in the pocket to get himself to a position where he could make throws. Tom Brady does the same thing. He feels pressure behind him, and he instinctively slides without ever really seeing it, but feeling it, getting into a throwing position.
After the sack by Mitchell, who's playing his 4th game of the season. Not his second, my mistake. 2nd and 12. Good pressure this time. Brady just has to unload. Incomplete. That time the heat by Minnesota forces it out earlier. Napoleon Harrison coming there, and Harris coming there.
We were talking about Tom Brady and his pocket presence. Keep an eye on his feet, how he slides. Now he's set, looking down the field. Here's the pressure. Bounces a little bit. You have to give ground a little at this level. Now he starts right, looks back left, feels the pressure, sets back, gets his feet adjusted so that he can make a throw with a little bit of balance. We've seen Brad Johnson on the other side try and make those similar throws, but doesn't have the arm strength of a Tom Brady.
Third down, nice looking design play, sets Riche Caldwell off to the races. Fred Smoot brings him down at the 42-yard line, but a first down for the Patriots.
Everything you do defensively, they seem to have a way to try and take advantage of it. If you want to bring pressure, fine, they'll throw screens. We've seen them a couple different ways.
Did you see how everybody in the building was getting revved up because of the Vikings defense, the sense that they would trap the Patriots all the way back in their own zone. They would get the ball in good field position, and one play, boom, takes you out of that. And clearly Brady has the ability to break your heart with one play.
I'll tell you what I saw, too. Matt White made a phenomenal block, and Dan Copen, Brady's center, goes downfield. 7 different receivers for 230 yards, his highest passing yardage first half ever, and now Maroney in his return to the Dome. Every time he has touched it, he has gained big chunks to the 20-yard line. Lawrence Maroney's welcome back in some ways was soured for some folks because Maroney brought up the issue of he didn't like the way Glenn Mason, his Minnesota head coach, used players when he was asked about the Minnesota program that he left after 3 seasons. But he was almost in some ways sorry the way it came out when we visited with him yesterday because he enjoyed his time in Minnesota, very loyal to the fans and the program here. He was just honestly answering a question. But a rookie's making a huge impact on a playoff contender. The 20, Brady in and out of the hands of Doug Gabriel. Second down coming up. You talk about Maroney coming back in this building, guys. Let me take you back to the game that means so much for Minnesota fans. When they play Wisconsin for Paul Bunyan's axe. And Maroney, he axed the Badgers with 258 yards in this building, including a 93-yard touchdown run. It was a career high. Remember, he spent a couple of years sharing time with Marion Barber, who's now with the Dallas Cowboys.
He brings a nice variety to this New England running backs. They got Kevin Falk as a third down back, Maroney with speed, and Corey Dillon with power downhill.
Yeah, he does have that jet, that burst, especially on this dome turf. Brady, if he locked in and out off the hands of Watson, that rocket shot incomplete.
That game is for Paul Bunyan's axe. Huh?
Yes.
I want to say that very distinctly. I want to make sure I say Paul Bunyan's axe.
Axe.
Yes.
Well, Minnesota plays for the Little Brown Jug. Paul Bunyan. Yeah, Tom Brady played for the Little Brown Jug because he was at Michigan. When they play Minnesota, that's the trophy.
When Maroney was drafted here, his first reaction was to say, wow, this is a dynasty for me. And he said, my first thought was Super Bowl.
Kevin Williams asking the crowd for help. Four-man rush. Brady completes it. Caldwell gets the first down inside the red zone again as E.J. Henderson pushed him out of bounds.
You cannot give a quarterback with the skills and abilities of Tom Brady that much time to survey a defense. They're going to find somebody. I mean, Minnesota decides to rush 4 again, and he just standing there picking and choosing, letting the defense go wherever they want to go, and then just cuts that rocket loose.
Why do you think they stopped doing what they were doing 5 or 6 plays ago when they put pressure on him 2 or 3 plays in a row? How did they stop that?
Because they threw that screen to Rashay Caldwell and backed him off.
Screens shut down pressure really quick, don't they? 2-minute warning here in the Dome.
When does the best-selling car in America become the best car for America? When does an engine become an engine of change? Introducing the first ever gas-electric Camry with hybrid Synergy drive. When a car becomes more.
Can you take me to New York City, please?
Last week, Entertainment Weekly asked the question, has this man made the funniest movie ever?
Yes!
This week, critics around the country have responded. It's not just the funniest movie of the year, it's the funniest movie in many years.
King in the castle, king in the castle.
Time magazine is calling it utterly irresistible.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm new in town. I want to say hello.
This Friday,
Crazy, crazy, everybody laughs.
Borat Rated R. Friday, only in theaters.
You're on a mission to get an amazing new TV for the ultimate high-def football experience. Circuit City makes it simple. That's because we've got thousands of online customer reviews that rate the hot new stuff. And right now, get no interest for 24 months on all TVs $499 and up. Plus, save on Sony, Samsung, Panasonic, Mitsubishi, and more. Only in Circuit City.
Joe Theismann there.
Wow.
Hi there. How are you?
24 and
That is
Tom Jackson.
sweet.
All part of the Halloween Derby. Coming up, also Chris, Steve, Michael, and Tommy.
Oh, they have your name on the back. How great is that?
That's the bust I'm going to get for the Hall of Fame right there.
You should take that head home
That's
with
what
you.
mine looks like.
Maroney runs inside the 5. Look at the power to go with the speed. It gets down to the 1-yard line, but a penalty marker is down.
Holding offense, number 44. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Heath Evans, the fullback, 60-year man out of Auburn. So the Vikings, who've seen all the penalties in the red zone over the year, see Minnesota get one, or see New England get one here.
What New England will do now is they put Heath Evans in as a blocking fullback. They ran the ball, and enough of that. Now you bring in Kevin Falk again, Maroney again. You spread it out, and unless they come after Tom Brady and give him pressure, he's going to find somebody. And this is one of those instances where Troy Brown has been a favorite receiver of his, so you can't ignore him up in the right slot.
Again, Minnesota only brings 4. Brady buys extra time. Good snatch out of the air by Falk. A hands catch gets him to the 10-yard line, where he's tackled by Harris.
Well, there's a guy who spent quite a bit of time with Tom Brady because I know how hard he throws the ball. I throw with him. I warm up with him. I did it twice, and I asked somebody to come and catch it for me. Throws the hardest ball in the game today. It's a tight spiral, and it's got a lot of rotation.
Warm up with him?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I throw defense for New England. I used to.
You still want to play, don't you? This is pathetic.
Second and goal, 4 wide. Brady calls his own number here and gets only to the 8-yard line.
Why not? I love the progressive thinking of the New England Patriots. They're willing, they don't get pigeonholed and stuck and say, well, we are a 2 tight end offense and that's what we're going to line up in, or we're this kind of they do whatever they feel like they have to do to take advantage of the other people, the defenses.
Brady's towel ended up over by the Vikings huddle when he ran in there. She's going to milk this clock down and then take a timeout here before the play clock expires. And you see how he has spread it out to 8 different teammates, mostly the wide receivers, and that has not been the case throughout this season. So with the timeout, 31 seconds left, let's go online, ESPN.com, Monday Night Surround, and dip into Tony's email box. Let's see what we got here, Tony. Tom in St. Paul. I see Childress covering his mouth when talking during the game. Do teams employ lip readers to spy on opponents, or does Coach Childress need a mint?
I am amazed at how many people in sports now, like baseball, they use their gloves when they go out conference on the mound. Now he's hiding his face with this menu of plays that he has. I just think they're all paranoid. They're all nuts. They think that there probably are lip readers unless you have a better answer.
No, they are.
Joe.
No, they are afraid. Somebody could be sitting up there filming what he is saying, and if he just repeated it, it could give a team an advantage, one play advantage.
Actually, we're going to start doing the broadcast like this now, which would be good. Next email.
In Tony's case, he needs a mint.
Crazy.
What does Belichick wear the same hooded sweatshirt inside as opposed to outside when he's got the same thing on? That's Rob in Boston.
I'm absolutely convinced that he has an endorsement deal with homeless shelters, and they make him wear these things. He's the worst dressed guy and the smartest guy out there.
And he doesn't care what you think.
3rd and goal after the Patriots call timeout from the 9. Brady adjusting the play. Vikings bring the heat this time, and underneath it is Watson to the end zone. Touchdown. Killer play for the Vikings as Watson scores to make it 16-0, and a clinic of the first half by Brady, who's barking back at a fan who threw a drink down on the field.
Terrific job by the offensive line again. Then it's just a question. Ben Watson is 6'3", 255 pounds. A couple years ago was a #1 draft choice. Had 21 receptions, was the leading receiver coming into this game, and that was his touchdown.
What a half for Brady. They have more yards in the half than the Vikings allow per game this season. Kostowski on for the extra point, 17-0. That was another long drive, 11 plays, 74 yards, and another Brady touchdown. Here's Susie Colbert.
Well, Mike, you guys had talked earlier about how Brady is noticeably not as commercialized as some other quarterbacks. And as he explains it, every day you spend doing something outside of football is a day that you lose in preparation. And he stressed he likes playing football more than doing anything else. And it's important to maintain also that he's just one of the guys in the locker room. So his priorities are he gets his rest, and he likes to have time for his social life, family life. Like, that's the stuff that's really important to Tom Brady. You know he's got his priorities right.
And you see the work, Susie, and how he's brought this wide receiving core along in these incremental steps week in, week out. But just look at tonight. He has thrown for 257 yards in the first half. That's the best by any NFL quarterback in passing yards in the first half this season. Previous high was Donovan McNabb's 256 for the Eagles. They lost that game to the Giants.
And the Patriots are willing to commit to do this. Now, in the second half, if they feel comfortable, they'll run the football a little bit more. He's not interested in a pass-run ratio 50-50. He's just interested in getting the ball down the field, and they expect their receivers to catch the passes.
This is the image of the New England Patriots. They're run by a genius, Bill Belichick, who adapts all the time, and they're run by a quarterback in his prime. You start with Belichick and Brady, you always think you have a chance.
Bouncing ball is trouble for Kleinsaucer to have, or rather Richard Owens, the tight end, to hang on to, and he finally gets it at the 31-yard line. So winners in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady and Brad Johnson there at the bottom. This is in chronological order as guys who went on to win the Super Bowl. You see these two guys joining Kurt Warner, the recent generation of guys who were drafted in the 6th round or later who went on to win the ultimate prize, and Brady's trying to do it now for the 4th time in 6 years.
I'd be curious to see, which I believe we're going to show later, is how many first-rounders have actually won Super Bowls. Now, I think guys that come in the later rounds have an advantage over first-rounders because the expectations are nowhere near as high for them as they are for the other guys.
Also, later round, better chance to go to a better team. Although that was not the case with the Patriots that he went to. Melody Moore got out of Colvin's almost neck tackle, gets near midfield. There are 14 seconds left. Vikings take a timeout. They have a couple remaining. They're trying to get into field goal range to try to get some points on the board here before halftime, trailing 17-0.
I'm not sure how, if you're drafted later, it's an advantage. You get much less money, and people doubt you to begin with.
No,
look at
we're in the staging area. We're in the staging areas.
The Toyota halftime show will not only have the fastest 3 minutes. Yes.
What are they laughing at, Joe?
They're happy people.
Look, you still have that face bar.
Well, look at you. You don't even have your beard. I have my single bar.
You look great.
My eyes are blue.
You're bringing that home, right?
That's my eight.
I think Mike's looks. Somebody just took off Mike's head.
Warren Moon
What's
has
the deal? What happened there?
Warren Moon has a bust from the Hall of Fame. This will be mine. I want that.
That person is simulating how I feel after a game with you two. My head has come off.
All
right, let's see. From the 49-yard line, I saw Longwell make it from 55 yards in warm-up, so they need to get another 15 yards or so. But Johnson is hit from behind and brought down as the sack is made by Banta Kane. It's the second time Tully's gotten in to make a play here tonight. Fourth-year man out of Cal, who was a defensive end, but in this 3-4 has become a linebacker.
You like to call this a coverage sack. I mean, Brian McKinney tries to get back and block him, but if McKinney's moving, he's too big to stop. Banta Kane just stops, come in, closes it up on Brad Johnson. Nowhere for him to go with the football. That's the second one that Brian McKinney has given up.
Mountain McKinney, who has another big deal, 7 years for $49 million, very close to Steve Hutchinson's deal.
In his defense, Brad Johnson has to get rid of the football. This offense is predicated on him making quick decisions and getting rid of the football, and he's not done that tonight.
So the Patriots, with 7 seconds left, go to their defense for a Hail Mary. Johnson, with 15 yards, can still get a completion and get a first down, stop the clock in time for a field goal. Patriots timeout, their last.
Now, let me say this. A receiver can run down, give himself up, go to the ground, and call timeout. He doesn't have to run to be tackled. So theoretically, if the ball is snapped, a guy goes 7 or 8 or 10 yards, goes to the ground, signals for a timeout, there could be 1 second left.
So you see the Vikings are tied with Indianapolis and come from behind victories, but those have been in lower scoring games that they have played this year. A 17-0 deficit is a pretty large one to try to overcome, especially against the Patriots, but they have come from behind after the break.
I believe they have trailed in every single game this year.
At some point.
Every single
game. Down by 14 to Detroit.
That was a fourth quarter rally here in the Metrodome. Patriots adjust their defense slightly. They don't go all the way back. They come up a little bit. Johnson, who's scrambling as the clock runs down, takes off, goes down, tries to get the timeout here with 1 second, and they do not. The half comes to an end. Disappointing half for the Vikings. They get the ball first to start the third. New England 17, Minnesota nothing. Here's Chris Berman with the Toyota halftime show.
Michael, thank you very much, and happy Halloween, everybody. I'm Tom Jackson. I've been with Chris Berman for about 20 years. Michael Irvin, would you please calm down? Steve Young, you're doing a nice job. Trick or treat, everybody, and happy Halloween. Okay, well, hopefully you've enjoyed the first half. We have some tricks and some treats, whoever it is that you are coming right along. You guys look good, by the way. The NFL season is full of twists and turns, or to be seasonal, full of ghosts and goblins. 1 week, you're grooving to the Monster Mash by our favorite Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kickers. The next, you're on a haunted hayride. For proof, you need look no further than football's last 2 undefeated teams. Here we go with our fastest 3 minutes, and the Colts had their hands full with the Denver Broncos. But Peyton Manning to the rescue. Down. Here he is on the second to last drive. Reggie Wayne, 28 yards. Zip. Reggie Wayne. Zip. Reggie Wayne, heaven forbid an incompletion, then zip, Dallas Clark. Touchdown, Reggie Wayne. 2-point conversion. Mike Shanahan's club now behind because Manning was 6 out of 7, but Mike Bell, ding, dong. He runs for 48 yards, leads to a field goal. We're tied at 31, but you're going to give Manning a minute and a half. Joseph a dive for 9. Dallas Clark for 11. A dive for 5. Wayne for 13. Wayne for 9. Setting up you-know-who, Adam Vinatieri. If you put the little goalposts in the middle, it's still good. Manning 11 for 12, including the 2-point conversion. Colts win 34-31. Bears over early. Brian Urlacher, interception against the Niners. Rex Grossman, touchdown. Bears and Colts are 7-0. Only 8 times 2 teams are 7-0. For tricks, the Raiders had him for the Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. Nnamdi Asomugha. touchdown. But if you think this was awesome, if you're a Raider fan, how about Chris, baby, you can drive my car. There he goes, gone, 100 yards. Their Raiders upset the champs 20-13. Battle of first place, Reggie Bush, hold on to the football. Steve McNair, touchdown. Brian Billick, play calling. Even he said, hey, I like the 12-yard interceptions for touchdowns that I called. That was DeJuan Landry. Ravens over the Saints, 35-22. Treat, how about Larry Johnson? Is he a man among boys? Chiefs against Seahawks, touchdown. Larry Johnson, give him the ball, shakes a tackle, hits the corner, 39 carries for a Kansas City record and helps put it away. Chiefs over the Seahawks, 35-28. And how about Treat? Zing! Michael Vick to Algie Crumpler. How about touch? Nice loft to Michael Jenkins. And then Vick dancing around in the pocket to Roddy White. Falcons are going to beat the Bengals 29-27. Zing! There is some more Treat. We hope that tomorrow is great, safe, and fun. And a reminder, don't eat all the candy early. First half highlights. Ben Watson, as somebody said, going into the game, would catch a touchdown. Patriots all over the Vikings, 17-0 at the half.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota, moving forward.
There she goes, one that got away. You see the way she was looking at me? You're not going to believe this one. Let me take you back to what happened.
Why do I care? I mean, he's a loser.
I can't believe I won. I can't believe it. I didn't mean to spill coffee. It was hot. How could I blow that?
It's never enough.
Yeah! Sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you.
Thank you. I'm starving. You want to go, get some Chinese or something like that?
It's a new NBA, a new generation of players who are driven by one thing, the desire to win. The NBA on ESPN returns with a doubleheader of playoff rematches. The Wizards and Cavaliers revive last year's dramatic shootout. Then the Clippers look for revenge against the Suns. The NBA on ESPN returns Wednesday. Wizards, Cavaliers, and Clippers, Suns. Coverage begins at 7.
Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Show.
This is how the fans celebrated Minnesota. Monday Night Football, always a party in the Twin Cities, especially on Halloween Eve. The Patriots, Tom Brady, it's 257 yards passing at the half. The big race when we return.
The Tour Championship. Coverage begins Thursday, November 2nd on ESPN.
Strange going on. Over 1,000 people insist they've seen something in Loch Ness. And yet when science is applied, like this expedition here, what's going on? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Do you see that? There. Oh, my.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota, moving forward.
ESPN Halloween Derby. Not exactly the Boston Marathon. So let's send it to Vikings radio announcer Paul Allen.
Welcome to the ESPN Halloween Derby. Let's meet the contestants. The host of Monday Night Countdown, Chris Berman. Former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, Michael Irvin. Former Denver Broncos linebacker, Tom Jackson. Monday Night Football commentator, Tony Kornheiser. Former Washington Redskins quarterback, Joe Theismann. The play-by-play voice of Monday Night Football, Mike Tirico. And the Hall of Fame quarterback from the San Francisco 49ers, Steve Young. It's the ESPN Halloween Derby. All the racers get to the starting line. On your mark, get set, and go. And they're racing in the Halloween Derby. And Mike Tirico, in silky smooth fashion, comes out beautifully. But it's the Hall of Famer Steve Young taking the lead at the 30. Chris Berman is back of the pack. He's about 10 yards from the lead. Then it's Tom Jackson, Joe Theismann, Tony Kornheiser's failing to fire, and the playmaker Michael Irvin's far out of it. Mike Tirico is straight and strong inside the 20, but he stumbled, and Steve Young has taken the lead. Tom Jackson with a late charge, but Steve Young is the Halloween Derby champion. And the winner is ESPN Monday Night Countdown co-host Steve Young. Congratulations to Rick Hoffman from St. Louis Park. And that is the Halloween Derby.
Thank you very much.
You always were a good scrambler, weren't you?
Hey, how could I lose to Tirico? You don't want to.
And here they are, Steve.
I couldn't have gone home.
And here we are. Life. Imitation is a higher form of life here, huh?
The promotion of it all.
All our rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
You and I got to have
Good job, guys.
You got to run harder than
Steve, you're a Hall of Famer, and now this.
I don't know what to say, really, Boomer. I've had some great days here at the Metrodome. This might be the best of all.
However, you know who's having a good day? Tom, there you are.
He's a handsome man.
You played linebacker with a single bar? I didn't know that.
Oh, man.
On to our game tonight. Tom Brady, in costume or out of costume, 257 yards.
Well, I mean, if you're going to play single safety, man for man, like the old days, every down, 90% of the first half, you've got to be kidding me. He's going to throw for 5,000 yards. They keep that up.
Yeah, but boy, it looks like Brad Johnson. We talk about he never makes mistakes, and he's done exactly that, made mistakes, and that's what New England does. They get you out of your game. They ran the ball 5 times in the first half.
Minnesota thought the Patriots are going to come out and run. Maybe not so fast. Patriots caught him flat-footed thus far. Ready to reshake Caldwell on the opening drive. The Patriots thus far enjoying the night before Halloween. In downtown Minneapolis, and Minnesota is down, not out yet. They've come back from halftime deficits 3 times this year, but trailing 17-0. The final NFL game of October 2006. Brad Childress's team will get the ball first after Tom Brady put on a performance very reminiscent of the opening night of the 2002 season when they just came out throwing. Stay away from a good rushing defense. Bethel Johnson, the return from the 1.
And Johnson swarmed under at the 25-yard line. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Mike, as I walked up the tunnel with the Vikings as they headed into the locker room, not one word was spoken. Not one. Not a sound was made. It was though they were trained not to give any indication of what they were thinking or feeling on their way into the locker room. Coming out after halftime, completely different. Players were shouting, "Let's go." Former Patriot Jermaine Wiggins, now the Vikings tight end, shouted, "We've been here before. Let's do it." Two different teams separated by one halftime speech, Mike.
And Brad Childress, who was very measured and thoughtful throughout, trying to push the right buttons during the break. Begins with play action from the 26, and Johnson throwing to the aforementioned Wiggins. Former teammate Vrabel takes him out of bounds at the 32.
Well, certainly it's not like the Vikings didn't have their opportunities. They get down close. Rodney Harrison supposed to be covering Bethel Johnson, but he never takes his eye off Brad Johnson. Hangs it up in the air from Weldy Moore. Now Richard Seymour comes in from behind. Brad Johnson, instead of being able to step and throw, this shot puts the ball 30 yards short. Chad Scott winds up with it in his hand. Uncharacteristic throws by Brad Johnson in that first half.
Ball came out as Taylor carried. The ball is loose. Let's see who's got it underneath. The Vikings do recover there, and it will be third down. So Taylor, who's been very good at not fumbling this year, almost put one back. And, Joe, the Vikings need to find something offensively to keep the game going at least.
Well, they need to stop having their quarterback make mistakes. I mean, they moved the ball. They got into scoring range. The other one was a long pass that he tried to force. Brad Johnson can't force the ball. He has to get it out in rhythm. He doesn't have a strong enough arm to stand back like Tom Brady, let somebody run, and then try and get the ball to him.
3rd and inches for the Vikings. And Taylor does a nice job finding that little opening, despite Vince Wilfork trying to push the pile. And it's a first down for Chester, who came over from Baltimore after 4 years as the understudy behind Jamal Lewis, and thus far this season has proven he can be a #1 type back.
Just to reset this is a very big game for Minnesota. They beat Seattle, a team that was in the Super Bowl in Seattle last week. If they go on, you get New England at home. If you beat New England, if you beat Seattle and New England in succession, you announce yourself as a playoff team. Their next 4 games appear to be fairly easy. They could be looking at 9-2, but they're not in this game right now.
No, they're not in it. Their offense cannot make mistakes.
Johnson on first down. Nice job by Troy Williamson to come get the ball. And a first down into New England territory at the 48-yard line.
Roosevelt Colvin, number 59, was the flash that you saw go by on that play to the left part of your screen. He's all the way back, has an opportunity to maybe break inside on Troy Williamson, and is disappointed that he did not get there. This defense doesn't even like giving up completions.
Williamson has caught the most passes tonight, 4 for 34 yards. Marked back at the 49, still a first down. And Johnson trying to get up and go with Bethel Johnson. Incomplete with Chad Scott over there in coverage.
Now, see, he can make that throw because he got it out in rhythm. If he has to run around and move around a little bit, the ball can't get down the field as far. Bethel Johnson pushes Chad Scott outside. The ball is thrown basically where no one can get it. But he's not going to try and hang it up down the middle of the football field because Artrell Hawkins is waiting for him to make that mistake.
Again, just a reminder, Marcus Robinson, a veteran receiver, 10-year receiver in the league, out with a back injury for Minnesota here tonight. Pressure off the edge. Johnson gets rid of it before Seau hits him, and the pass is incomplete with Travis Taylor in coverage. So there you have a couple of the oldest guys in the NFL out there, the oldest offensive player in Johnson, and the second oldest defensive player in Seau to Ted Washington. Almost a sack, old guy on old guy.
I don't think they talk about their grandchildren at the bottom of the pile like that.
You said it best earlier, was the fact that he plays like he's 27 years old. I mean, he has that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of energy.
Well, he's a recent graduate, as he said himself.
That's true. I thought like 21-year-old probably. You're right.
Yeah.
So 2 shots down the field. Now it's 3rd and 10. Patriots in the neutral zone. Free play for Johnson. Ladd's throw is complete. Richardson caught it. Vrabel brings him down, but it appeared to be an offside on New England. Larry Nemmers does not realize the flag is here on the near side. Now he's got it.
offside, defense number 95. 5-yard penalty. It'll still be third down.
I'll let Junior Seau, guys, the 5th overall pick in the draft back in 1990, and still going strong.
On the day that he either retired or graduated, whatever he said, Rodney Harrison, who had played with him in San Diego, said he made a call to a mutual friend and said, tell Junior to get his butt here. We need him. So I guess players thought that he still had something left. You know, that no matter how old he was, he could play right away in a good system.
Last year, Chad Brown, who came from Seattle, played in that position. So they like the veteran guys, as we've talked about.
Incredible list of accomplishments, those 12 straight Pro Bowls. Randall McDaniel of the Vikings with more. Deep shot for Williamson, his speed incomplete. A lot of contact with Asante Samuel. No flag, 4th down.
That's a young receiver's mistake. He gets caught up trying to think that you're going to get pass interference instead of focusing on the catch and making the play. Now, he doesn't put a move or anything. He just tries to run by in speed. He's looking up. Now he just lost the ball. I think he loses the ball in the lights. Because this thing gets on top of him in a hurry, and he never even gets his hands up. Perfectly thrown ball.
Louis to kick. Brown's just going to let it go into the end zone. Not even close. It's a poor punt. A net of only 24. Samuel did get his arm on Williamson's arm as he was coming down the field, but he couldn't fight through. 17-0 Pats.
This offers incomparable picture quality.
So why does it cost so much?
It's HD TV, sir. Top of the line.
No, I mean, why does it cost more here?
Yeah, Walmart has the same one for way less.
We have a high-def buyers club where you can earn points towards your choice of reward. If you spend $50,000, there's a digital meat smoker.
The same brand name HD TVs as other stores for way less. Get smart before you buy at walmart.com/HDTV.
It'll be there in the morning.
The all-new Mazda CX-7. The SUV you never saw coming. It all comes back to.
When it comes to trading, you want the most powerful tools. When it comes to yard work, not so much. Fidelity's got powerful trading tools you can actually use. What's your online broker got? Fidelity. Smart move.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Well, the guy who defines championship quarterback in professional football right now, Tom Brady, had all of those abilities on display in the first half, throwing for 257 yards, more than any quarterback has thrown for in a half in the NFL this season. It's 17-0 New England. Brady, who's led 3 long scoring drives, starts this one from the 20. A run out of the gun with Corey Dillon, who's turned back by that Minnesota defense that's so stout against the ground game.
Tom Brady has been able to do exactly what you would dream a quarterback could do. Spread the ball around to a lot of different receivers. He finds different places on the field. He's finding different receivers in different styles. Crossing routes, deep outs, short hooks, screens, working to the tight end, working to all of his running backs. 8 different receivers caught the ball from him in the first half, 2 of them for touchdowns.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Brady trying to screen it out to this side, but the back could never get through as Falk was caught up in the wash of the defensive pressure. No flag, 3rd down coming up, and here's Susie Calder.
No intention. 3 was in the area.
Susie, the second. It's 3rd and 12. That's it.
Well, Mike, at the half, I asked Bill Belichick about Brad Johnson's uncharacteristic mistakes, and he said more than anything, they tried to mix it up. I'll finish after this play.
You got it. 3rd and 12. See if the Vikings pressure causes another bad pass. Brady was hit as he threw that time. It's incomplete. And Minnesota doing what they could not do, 3 and out. Go ahead, Susie.
Well, I asked him what the most effective part of their defensive game plan was. He didn't give his defense a lot of credit. He said the best thing we did, we mixed it up. But more than anything, he questioned some of Brad Johnson's decisions. As for the offense, he came in with a very healthy respect for this Vikings run defense. So I asked him here in the second half, do they plan on going at that run defense or keep putting it in the air? And he said, we came in with a game plan. You saw it in the first half. We'll stick with it. Of course, a lot depends on what they throw at us. But Mike, modest as always.
But you saw it on the first drive, too, Susie. They did not get off the accelerator at all. Thus a 3 and out. And a return for Moore. Great patience by Mwelde Moore to take it deep. Mwelde Moore stays on his feet and goes all the way. Minnesota, touchdown. Vikings, who have made a living on scoring any way possible this year, get a 71-yard touchdown return.
Except on offense.
Right.
They've been getting it from their defense and their special teams. Terrific job on Heath Evans with the straight arm. And Mwelde Moore shows you the kind of speed that he has. That's the second one on special teams. They've had 4 on defense of the 13 touchdowns they've scored.
And, of course, it goes without saying that I have him tonight in fantasy.
Oh,
and I just picked up 6 that I never thought I would get.
You don't, do you?
Yes, I do.
It's the second punt return for touchdown in Moore's career. Did it last year to the Giants. Extra point added by Longwell. So the Vikings, who have gone 242 games without being shut out, longest current streak in the NFL, make it 243 with the Moore touchdown.
The world is not always a safe place. Thankfully, the ML350's brake assist is supplying full brake boost, while the electronic stability program brakes each wheel for improved stability. Accidents do happen. We just help you avoid them. Mercedes-Benz playing it safe is a good thing.
The ML350, just one of the Mercedes-Benz SUVs with standard 4MATIC 4-wheel drive. The M-Class starts at $43,455.
2 great reasons to shop Fitzgerald Auto Malls. A huge selection of both new and used cars. Right now, new 07 Chryslers, Jeeps, Subarus, and Suzukis are begging to be driven off the lot, and remaining 06 models are priced to move fast. Plus, over 200 used vehicles starting at $19.95. Look at this 02 Chrysler Sebring convertible, just $89.91, and a Buick LeSabre for only $64.91. Shop Fitzgerald Auto Malls. The Fitz way. There's just no better way to go.
Folks, it's here, the SUV you never saw coming, the all-new 2007 CX-7 from Mazda. Right here, right now, at Tyrone Square Mazda. RAV4, CR-V, Murano, move over. The CX-7's going to blow your doors off. How about a 244-horsepower turbocharged engine, power windows, locks, cruise, tilt, anti-lock brakes, 18-inch alloy wheels, and so much more, all for $24,000. Come in, test drive the CX-7. I'll bet you buy one. And remember, always fair, always square. Tyrone Square Mazda, St. Petersburg.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by the all-new Mazda CX-7, the SUV you never saw coming. Miller Lite. For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite, always a good call. NFL.com. Vote for the 2007 Pro Bowl teams. Log on now. It's all on NFL.com. And IBM. What makes you special?
This franchise that for some has been defined by failure in the Super Bowl has also been defined by success. So many great people, including Hall of Famers. Warren Moon, who had his 3 years here in Minnesota, was honored with his Hall of Fame induction earlier this year. Honored in Kansas City yesterday here with the Vikings. Carl Eller, among the many Viking Hall of Famers and honorees among the years who've come for Moon's honor here tonight. Lawrence Maroney kickoff return. Look at Maroney hit it hard. Longwell to beat, and the kicker got in the way, but Maroney keeps it going. Lawrence Maroney brought down to the 21-yard line. So last week, Maroney had a 74-yard return against Buffalo. This week, a 77-yard return in Minnesota. R2's Pinner saved a touchdown.
I think it's his own player that gets in the way. Longwell's there. He goes flying by him. He'd have missed him, except he runs in to one of the tight ends.
David Thomas.
David Thomas. He runs into the rookie right there. If David Thomas just gets out of the way, I'm sure he'll make Longwell miss.
This is what you look for if you like New England. They just give up a special teams touchdown. Can they come back and score on their own? And on the kickoff itself, they basically get 80 yards.
It reminds you of the years when Troy Brown would return punts and kicks, of the years they went to the Super Bowl. Not too long ago, I might add.
As Susie indicated, Patriots staying a lot of this 5 wide, no backs. This pass one more time to reshape Caldwell is complete. And they're close to the 13-yard line.
But if they were to score a touchdown here, even a field goal, but certainly a touchdown, they take all the momentum away from Minnesota. You know, Minnesota climbs back into the game quickly on a spectacular play, and boom, they'd be down the same 17.
Second consecutive 5-catch game for Caldwell. Still lots of time to better that here tonight. Brady complete one more time. Watson's knee never came down, and he gets down to the 5. We see it with Peyton Manning all the time, orchestrating the game at the line, and it seems like the crowd gets louder. Defensive guys are jumping. Everybody's looking, and the lowest pulse rate in the building is the guy waiting for the snap.
But Mike, you made a great point while we were talking at halftime. In the second week of the season, Tom Brady would not have been able to do this with these wide receivers. Now they have reached a comfort level where the noise doesn't bother them. The hand signals work just fine.
Back under center this time. Brady fires, touchdown. One more time. Troy Brown, his 3rd on the season.
Okay, obviously the kick return is the big catalyst in this. But Brady then hits passes 1, 2, 3 in a row for a touchdown. That's obviously why he's such a great quarterback. The opportunity presents itself, and he goes right in. And it's 17 points again.
And you have the veteran in Troy Brown, who has worked with him for so long. Gets it out quick. Finds throwing lanes, gets it over the top. I mean, the adjectives to describe him, the flowing adjectives, just keep coming out. He's phenomenal.
Gostowski on for the extra point. He has been so on target tonight. Brady with 3 touchdowns. Troy Brown within 1 of the all-time Patriots catch mark. 24-7 New England.
All I'm saying is you can tell a lot about someone from their car.
No, I don't know what you're saying.
I mean, take this one. Leather seats, nav system, Bose surround sound. This guy is the man.
Introducing the 244-horsepower turbocharged Mazda CX-7, the SUV you never saw coming.
The man. Yeah, you're the man.
What?
The all-new Mazda CX-7. It all comes back to.
Across the country, fans are seeing football in a whole new way. With unprecedented access to the NFL, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fans have made NFL Network one of the fastest growing networks in television history. This Thanksgiving, join us for the network's premiere of Thursday Night Football. A new tradition begins at the place football season never ends.
What if you could relive one day over, but it happened to be the worst day of your life?
Get out!
That day is here.
You ever have a deja vu?
Tay Diggs, Daybreak, a new series Wednesday, November 15th, only on ABC.
This Minnesota defense left speechless as Brady continues to move it all over the field on them, Joe.
And, I mean, the way he's done it is he's focused under 15 yards. He's 20 for 30, got 3 touchdowns. And he's really not tried to force the ball down the field, but when he gets his opportunity to throw it, he takes advantage of it. You see, only 4 passes over 15 yards, and that's all they're doing. The pass rush can't get to him, and he's spreading the field from sideline to sideline.
And again, amplified by 8 different receivers doing it. Bethel Johnson, who used to return kicks for New England, saw the guy who took his job, light one up, and then gets himself lit up by Artrell Hawkins, the starting safety here tonight at the 23-yard line.
That moved my teeth up here in the booth.
The NBA on ESPN is back with a doubleheader of playoff rematches. The Wizards and Cavaliers revived last year's dramatic shootout. Then the Clippers look for revenge against the Suns. The NBA on ESPN returns Wednesday.
We're united on this one. 23 cities agree.
We object to the Charter Review Commission's plan to strip power from city voters.
They think they know best. We disagree.
They want to change fire and police standards. We think that's wrong. And they're saying
this is about environmental protection. It's not. It's about your right to decide. Don't give away your rights.
Please vote no on all 7 county charter amendments.
Now's the time to buy your new vehicle from Fitzgerald Auto Malls. We are overstocked, and selling every new vehicle under invoice. All new Hyundais will be sold under invoice. Plus, you still get the rebates. Shop our huge inventory on-site or online at fitzmall.com. At Fitzgerald Auto Malls, it's always no haggle, no hassle prices, and now priced under invoice. Don't delay. Shop today. The Fitz way. There's just no better way to go.
They call it the golden hour. Getting a patient to the right place in the 60 minutes after a trauma can make all the difference. Every second counts. To me, the doctors and nurses are the ones who save lives. My job is to save time. I'm proud to be one of the real heroes that call Bayfront home.
Patriots offense has been frightening 24/7. New England leading Minnesota. Brad Johnson, who got his first start in the NFL when he replaced the injured Warren Moon September 8th of 1996. Trying to get out of a big hole here. Long toss. Travis Taylor caught it. 44-yard line. First down. Pickup of 22.
They're using the play-action pass. Chester Taylor has run the ball quite well, so they can use it. Give Brad Johnson a little extra time. And the receivers out in the route on the left side of your screen. Taylor releases inside, then makes the move. This is an excellent throw. That one had a little zip on it.
Johnson here tonight, 15 of 23, but he has thrown a couple of interceptions. Chester Taylor, the lone back. And right back to the air. Another completion. This will be right at the first down marker for Troy Williamson, and here's Michelle.
Well, I'm with Warren Moon, new Hall of Famer, inducted this summer. Congratulations. As you watch your former teammate, Brad Johnson, try to work against this Patriots defense, what makes it so tough for a quarterback to go against these guys?
Well, they're just so disciplined in everything that they do, and they're well coached by Bill Belichick and that staff of his, and they've been together for a while. This is a group that's won a few Super Bowls together, so they know how to play the game.
Now, on the other side, you've got Tom Brady. Tonight, 20 of 30, 278 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's hot. What makes this guy get on fire like that?
Well, for one, the Vikings are very basic in what they do defensively, and he's just kind of picking apart a very basic zone and man coverage defense. And Tom's a cool customer. He takes the underneath routes when he has them, and when he wants to go up top, he finds the areas and he takes a shot every now and then.
How tough is it for you to watch your former teammate, Brad Johnson? Obviously, he's 37 years old. He's an older guy. Have a tough night like this, not necessarily because the Vikings are playing bad, but because he made a couple bad decisions.
He did make a couple of uncharacteristic decisions of him, especially the touchdown, the interception in the end zone. But, you know, Brad's a good quarterback, and he'll find a way to turn this thing around. Believe me, he'll make some big plays before this game is over, but his defense has got to keep him in it.
Warren, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. In a word, what does it feel like?
It It's the most amazing experience of my life other than my kids being born, and something that I never thought would happen, but it did, and I'm taking it and I'm riding with it.
And you're expecting another little boy. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much, Michelle. It's been a great year.
Warren Moon, Mike.
Michelle, our congratulations as well. One of the finest is 3 years here in Minnesota. Remember when Brad Johnson was replaced by Warren Moon, or Brad replaced Warren Moon. Warren eventually coming back and taking this offense to incredible heights and scoring performances as well.
Incredible thrower of the football. When he used to run the run and shoot down in Houston, here's a guy who stood 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, waited for the wide receivers to set the routes, had to take all the punishment and then make the throws. Prettiest thrower since Sonny Jurgensen I've ever seen.
3rd and 3. Really need this for the Vikings, and Wiggins had it. Now it will be called, let's see, a catch and out of bounds. I believe that is the signal that it's caught and then out of bounds. Bill Belichick negotiating with the official there, and now there'll be a conference. Let's watch here as Wiggins catches, gets a couple of feet down. Harrison then goes to pull, or rather Hobbs goes to pull it.
No question that's a catch.
And now ruled on the field incomplete.
Got to challenge it. Now Brad Johnson has to challenge it. Congratulations to Bill Belichick talking the official out of it. I don't know who else could come in possibly and talk this official out of it.
Challenge flag has been thrown by Brad Childress after the Vikings watched it on the big screen. Ellis Hobbs wrestling it out of the arms of Jermaine Wiggins. So the referee will go under the hood to find out if the Vikings have a first down.
One thing you can always predict about the weather, it's unpredictable. That's why Goodyear engineers created Triple Tread technology. It's got an ice zone for gripping power in icy conditions, aqua chutes to move water away from the tire, and a dry zone for confident maneuvering. Get superior traction in any weather condition. Goodyear's Triple Tread technology. Now available on Forterra for SUVs and Assurance for cars. So you're always prepared on the wings of Goodyear.
Looking for great prices on thousands of DVDs? Circuit City makes it simple. Hurry in on DVD Mission Monday and pick up Mission Impossible 3. Plus get the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift for just $13.99 at Circuit City.
In 4 days, the battle for Christmas begins.
Comet, next time we fly, go easy on the alfalfa, will you?
Santa Claus 3 Rated G starts Friday.
It's the most prestigious day in racing. The best jockeys, trainers, and horses, like Bernardini and Lava Man, going head-to-head. The Breeders' Cup World Championships, Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN.
So referee Larry Nemmers is under the hood. The play on the field was ruled an incomplete pass. You watch Jermaine Wiggins catch 1, 2, 3 steps before the ball is wrestled out by Ellis Hobbs. So given what you see on that look, Joe, you would think a complete pass, then a fumble out of bounds.
One that you would think so, yes, and the ball will probably come back to the spot where he's down on the ground, but Larry Nemmers now leaving the hooded area. I guess we call that.
That's usually the back of Belichick's head.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It was an incomplete pass.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Minnesota will be charged
I am sorry.
with their first team timeout.
I am really sorry. This is going to be one of those letters that Brad Childress writes to Mike Pereira, the head of officials. Mike Pereira will write a letter back to him explaining that the officials missed that. You've got to explain to me how many steps a guy has to take with the ball. He catches it. He tucks it. 1, 2. Now he goes to the ground and the ball comes out. That's a catch and a fumble.
Are you ready to wash your hands of instant replay right now? Do you think it should be
Hang on a second here. You got 4th and 3. The Vikings are going for it from the 38-yard line. And will try to throw for it. Johnson's pass is deflected, and it's incomplete. Richard Seymour and Ty Warren were there. Seymour gets up, knocks it down. Patriots will take over, and Brad Childress sees his team frustrated on offense and with replay again.
Hey, want a Bud Light?
Yeah.
Whoa, rubber floors. Just had them installed. Now we'll never break a Bud Light. Oh, nice. Remote.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Hi.
Too much bounce. Maybe.
You guys have to try this.
Nothing like Friday nights with my best friends. We just have one rule.
Hey, what is that over there?
Everyone orders something different.
It's Olive Garden's new Chicken Roma. Sauteed chicken layered with Italian cheeses and fresh Roma tomatoes. Or new Asiago chicken, topped with creamy Alfredo and Asiago cheese. 2 delicious new dishes from Olive Garden, plus endless breadsticks and salad.
The best part of being with my friends, we all have such great taste.
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Imagine buying a big screen Samsung HD TV and getting a free $100 gift certificate to NFLshop.com. Then imagine what you'd buy.
How about an NFL putter? Lefty, of course.
Anything that reminds me of Texas. Free? Oh, I could definitely connect with that NFL armchair.
Something romantic for the wife, like that NFL tailgaters table.
Samsung, making all your NFL dreams come true.
Monday night to the Great Northwest to Seattle, and the Raiders taking on the Seahawks. Oakland winning back-to-back games, including under 100 yards of offense to beat Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers with the 4 INTs. And Seattle still without Sean Alexander and Matt Hasselbeck, trying to stay above 500. So Oakland at Seattle next Monday night. Our coverage begins Monday night countdown at 7 Eastern time.
It makes for a very good game because key players are out.
On the Seattle side, they're missing a couple of huge performers on offense, and obviously their big offensive lineman Steve Hutchinson is now here with Minnesota. Brady back to the air on first down. Cleared out underneath and still can get up and run, but Caldwell couldn't get to his feet. Still, Riche Caldwell's big night continues. 6th catch of the evening.
So I'm trying to agitate you, Joe, into condemning the instant replay system because you totally believe that that call was a bad call.
I will not condemn the system. I condemn that call. And the situation is, it goes back to the Troy Polamalu situation last year in the playoffs. That was obviously a catch and an athletic move. Polamalu did it, as did Wiggins tonight. So, to me, I don't understand how they could make the decision they made.
Corey Dillon's screen takes it inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. First down, gain of 26, and the ball is angrily tossed away there, and no flag for delay of game or unsportsmanlike.
But I do understand how the New England Patriots are able to do this to Minnesota. Minnesota is basically a corners-up, safety-back, cover-2 defense. When you spread them out sideline to sideline and get the ball in the hands of a receiver, you've got your receivers running in open space constantly with really no defenders close.
And now the fans angered after the non-call on the reversal of the instant replay, and there no flag for either delay a game or unsportsmanlike. Brady continues to carve the Viking defense to Gabriel, a couple yards shy of the first down.
You may understand how New England is able to do this to Minnesota, but nobody else has done this to Minnesota all year. No. New England comes in here as a road team and has clearly looked enough at Minnesota to know how to attack.
But no one's taken this approach. It isn't so much what Minnesota's doing, it's what New England decided to do. In a Monday night game in 2002, they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did the exact same thing. Pittsburgh was #1 against the run. Bill Belichick is not going to bang his head against the wall.
That was opening night after the 2001 AFC Championship game when New England won but could not run for anything against the Steelers in that one. Remember that game?
Yep.
False start, offense number 17. 5-yard 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
On Chad Jackson. So that was Brady coming in and going all offense through the air in that game. And you see tonight, it is a season-high 327 yards. It was such a frustrating start. Remember the term body language and how Brady's body language looked so poor and so dejected? We didn't have receivers who understood what he did. He was taking a graduate level course, and they were at the wide receiver 101 in the New England system. They've graduated quickly as well. To Watson bowls over a would-be tackle by Napoleon Harris and gets the first down.
Now, the reason why he's so comfortable with Ben Watson is, if you remember, all through preseason and in the early part of the year, that was his primary receiver. He was the leading receiver coming in. Ben Watson just works the middle of the football field and bowls over people. I mean, he's like a wide receiver standing up in there, like Antonio Gates, as an example.
Brady is described by more people than me as the Joe Montana of his generation, and he surgically goes down the field as Montana did.
Just a long handoff, essentially, to Caldwell. Corner play there by Smoot. The ball comes free. The Vikings have it.
That's a play you're looking for from your defense. So the Vikings are getting plays out of their defense like they have. They're getting plays out of their special teams like they have. And they're not getting anything out of their offense like they have.
Dwight Smith, Joe, comes up with the recovery.
Good job by Fred Smoot. A lot of people said he couldn't tackle. E.J. Henderson comes in, separates him from the ball. Knee never gets to the ground. Ball comes out. Now, if you're Belichick, why don't you just review this?
You talk the ref out of it?
You said his knees never come to the ground. His knees were on.
Yeah, but Belichick's reviewing it.
Smoot, but
he got one to go his way. I mean, he talked an official out of one. Why not take another shot at it?
You just have to take a second look to see if any body part was down. It's a knee down.
New England is challenging the ruling on the field of the fumble. We'll review the play.
Larry doesn't sound like he wants to go under the hood again.
Let's take a peek here. This is Smoot working on Riche Caldwell.
His knees were obviously in Smoot's chest.
We just have to see where that left elbow is, because that's coming down as well here. It's a hand down, but not the elbow down.
Right.
As the ball starts to come free.
This is one of those decisions that you don't think is going to go against Minnesota, because the last one did, and you want to make sure that the referees get out of here safely.
Tony, to be honest, I have no idea what the officials are going to rule after the last one.
Let me tell you what we're looking for here. We're looking for the body part to be down that is anything but the foot or the hand, and that's why I said, as I was watching that replay, where his hand is, because if the hand is down, you're still keeping the play alive. But once the wrist comes down, you're rolling over on the wrist, then you would be considered down. So it's almost where his wrist is on the ground, and is the ball coming out at that point, what Nemers will be looking at here.
Mike, that's what you and I interpret. Okay, let me just say that. That's the way you and I would interpret it. I do not know what the men in the booth will determine.
You have no faith.
Not anymore.
At this point, you have no faith in the system. Go ahead and say it. I know I'm agitating, but you have no faith in the system at this moment, do you?
I have faith in the system.
Well, who don't you have faith in?
The people making the rulings tonight.
Guys, it's so microscopically close there as to when the crown of his helmet comes down as the ball is coming out. You're really splitting hairs as to how close it is.
Indisputable evidence, right?
Is what you need for an overturn. The ruling on the field was a fumble. I think it's going to be upheld.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It was a fumble. The runner's knee was not down, and the ball came out. 1st and 10, Minnesota. New England will be charged with their first team timeout.
Very nice, Mike. Very nice call. You feel better now, Joe?
A little bit.
See, if you were a sports writer, you'd be trying to fire somebody right now. I did this for many, many years. You'd pick out some official. If you couldn't get an official, you'd just fire the guy who set up the hood that the guy goes under.
A sports writer, nor do I want to be.
You would have made a lot more money as a sports writer.
Keep my job as a quarterback.
Brad Johnson runs for, hands to Chester Taylor, who runs for a couple of yards out to the 16-yard line, a gain of 2. Taylor's been very quiet. So is the Vikings offense. Why, Joe? Pat Steve.
Pat's defense has just been outstanding. If it's not Junior Seau up in the middle, it's Banta Kane coming in from the outside, and then Rodney Harrison doing a wonderful job keeping an eye on the quarterback. They're just not giving the receivers much room to breathe, nor are they giving Brad Johnson any room to breathe.
Chester Taylor tonight, 10 carries, just 22 yards. Johnson the pump and trying to throw that deep ball, and they haven't come close on hitting many of those. Ty Warren hit Johnson's arm, may have affected the flight of the pass.
Look at the yards comparison.
It's a throwing night, that's for sure.
I mean, and Minnesota does not want to do this. This was something that Brad Childress, when he took over this franchise, said, I am committed to running the football. That's what I want to do.
So they're at an enormous disadvantage because Brad Johnson doesn't even have the arm to go deep all the time, right?
No, he doesn't. And they keep throwing the ball to the outside part of the field. They have not tried anything down the middle yet.
Billy McMullen is coming at wide receiver. 3rd and 8 for Minnesota. Trying to take advantage of a Patriots turnover. Johnson's pass, Taylor would not have gotten the first down anyway, as Vrabel was out there in coverage. And this Viking offense that has not set the world on fire thus far this year. I know they've won and they've scored points, but they've had fumbles, interceptions, punt returns for touchdown. They're really struggling against a good defense here.
Coming into the game, Brad Johnson had 4 touchdown passes. 4. That was it.
Kluwe above his average of 40. Remember when 40 used to be a good average for a kicker and a punter? That was the case in the mid-70s. That was the average in the NFL. Now his 40.4 average is last in the league, but he's had a good night tonight. Falk a return and a nice one. Falk across midfield and down to the 40-yard line. A return of 28 yards. So the New England sports team was saddened, of course, this past weekend with the passing of the great Red Auerbach at age 89. All you Boston fans watching know the 9 NBA titles as the Celtics head coach and then 7 more as the general manager. Just so much a part of the fabric of not just New England sports, but obviously the entire NBA, because Tony, this guy was there from the very start of the NBA.
He was there even 2 years before the NBA started in the Basketball Association of America. It's not arguable. He is the greatest professional basketball coach of all time. But what he did for social progress is something we should discuss after this play.
Patriots take over in Viking territory. They'll be glad to a 17-point lead. Brady's throw. Chad Jackson incomplete.
I just think he had a profound effect on the culture in terms of progress for racial equality. I would say behind Jackie Robinson and, of course, Brandt Rickey, Red Auerbach was a force for equality like nobody else in sports. He started 5 black players in Boston, a racially tense city, when all of this stuff happened. He gave the franchise over to Bill Russell,
yes,
and Bill Russell became the first black coach in the NBA. And basketball is at the forefront of racial equality, and Auerbach was at the forefront of that.
2nd and 10. They continue to throw. Brady's pass is out of bounds and incomplete. We'll have 3rd and 10. A penalty marker coming in. We're very much after the play.
That's going to go against the New England Patriots, I believe.
Be illegal contact on Minnesota. Let's see.
Illegal contact, defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That negates an uncatchable. Brad Childress says uncatchable, but it's illegal contact, not pass interference. Difference.
Boy, they are nitpicking tonight. I mean, they are really nitpicking. They call that illegal contact. I call that touching. I mean, we've seen a couple of those tonight. But the thing you have to understand, now what coaches will do is they will chart this crew. They will chart this crew because the crews work together now and say to their team, be careful because this is the way they're going to call the games.
So first down for the Patriots at the 34. And Kevin Falk with a run opportunity, just the 9th time this year. And he runs for 11, first down at the 23. And just to finish the Red Auerbach thought, 9 championships as a coach, and nobody obviously in Boston sports history. Then you have Belichick with 3, and there's Bill Carrigan, who had Babe Ruth as a pinch hitter in his 1914 and 15 World Series with the Red Sox. And then the guys under Auerbach's tutelage in the front office with Russell and Heinsohn and Casey Jones. But it only speaks to Red Auerbach's success, but also where Belichick will be in the all-time history of sports leaders in Boston. Not the social part, like you so eloquently pointed out with Auerbach, but what an impact on this franchise.
Not on the cover of GQ.
Brady to Maroney, who's had a great game tonight. Lawrence Maroney never gives up on a play.
He's fun to
love
watch.
watching him. Yeah, first down.
One other thing about Auerbach that we didn't mention were all the titles he got as the general manager. All the brilliant trades he made when he brought Larry Bird in a year early, when on draft day he was able to trade for Robert Parrish and a draft pick that was Kevin McHale, in essence for Joe Barry Carroll, to set up probably the greatest front line in the history of the NBA.
Bird, Parrish,
in
McHale.
one fell swoop. Right.
Speaking of front lines, you can't say enough about the job that New England has done tonight with their offensive line.
Nice segue.
Well, they're really not. Ryan O'Callahan, a rookie at the right tackle. Copen, only 4 years. Mankins, only 2. They're young on offense.
First and goal for Brady. Complete to Chad Jackson. Kept it alive. Gets in the end zone. 4th touchdown pass for Brady tonight.
Wow. That's a wow.
He's had a few of those tonight.
He's had a few, but I mean, this is all Chad Jackson. This is all Chad Jackson. He's in the slot, runs a little quick out, down at what you would think the 6-yard line. His knees never touch the ground. He continues to use his right hand as support to get in the end zone.
Caldwell, Watson, Brown, and now Jackson. 4 different receivers have caught touchdowns from Tom Brady, and this is typical of what Tom Brady does. He spreads the ball out. He's never had a great receiver with him for the entire career. Always finds ways to get around and spread it. Like this touchdown in the early going to Reshae Caldwell in the opening drive. Then his tight end, Ben Watson, who's had a big game, 6 catches, 87 yards. Brady continuing it here in the 3rd quarter with Troy Brown's 7-yard score. And just a moment ago, the good hard work by Jackson, the 2nd-round pick out of Florida, one of the 3 former Florida Gator receivers here. 10 different receivers for Brady tonight, 4 touchdowns, and a tremendous day. Here's Susie Caldwell.
Well, Mike, earlier tonight I talked about Brady's quarterback coach, Tom Martinez, who first met Brady when he was just a little kid. And Martinez said the first thing that made him special was his family. 3 older sisters, all great athletes themselves. And there's this family attitude of class, excellence, hard work. And he added there was something in Brady's makeup that was different than the other kids he coached. And to this day, he just always wants to get better. Every time more and more is expected, he wants to answer that. Brady's goal, not to be as good as other quarterbacks, but to be as good as he needs to be. And guys, just from talking to him, you know how high that standard is.
It's extraordinary, Susie. It's a thing for the best, hardest working Patriot from one off season to the next. You get a parking space up there in Foxborough by Gillette Stadium. And that's Brady's goal. He wants that parking space every year. And when your hardest worker and your star guy, your guy who's in all the commercials, the ones that he does do, as infrequent as they might be relative to some of the other quarterbacks, when he's the one who sets the tone for work ethic, it becomes easy to manage for a head coach.
Here's what Tom Brady has done. Okay, he's a 6th-round draft choice. He's the classic case of an understudy making the absolute most of his opportunity. Had no reason to believe he'd get the opportunity he did when Drew Bledsoe went down. And it becomes like Shirley MacLaine going in there for Gwen Verdon in the pajama game, though I'm doing Broadway musicals here. In the first big shot he's got, he does as a young man, he wins the Super Bowl. Then he wins 2 more before he's age 28. He's a legend in his own time. He's Paul Revere up there right now. He's the biggest guy in all of New England.
Brad Johnson wraps up the quarter with a completion to Noeldy Moore as a punt return touchdown tonight, brought down to 34. You gave me Brady, Paul Revere, and Shirley MacLaine all in the same
Not bad. Next day on your dressing room, they've hung a star from There's No Business Like Show Business.